So for this video, we're going to concentrate on the electrical. So for an electrical plan, for this purpose, we don't need exact locations just yet. There's a couple of places that are going to be really key for knowing how to plan your next lighting and your next electrical set, but there's a couple of easy ones that we don't need to know exacts. So we're going to go ahead and start by going over a couple of the different symbols that we use. So we try to keep this really simple when we have our clients do drawings for us. So we're going to start with an outlet. An outlet is simply a circle with two lines coming out of it. So that is a standard two outlet setup. And if you have a GFI or a ground fault interrupter, which you should have in your kitchen at the very least by your sink, it'll be simply the two lines with the circle and then GFI. So that's ground fault interrupter. And those are going to be your simple symbols for this lesson. We don't really need to go too much more into detail than that. If you have a unique symbol, please feel free to ask, and we are happy to clarify and give you something. Or if you don't know what it is and you just want to make note of where it is, you can just make up your own symbol. Send us a picture with the symbol so we know what it is, and we'll be able to figure that out with you. Next, we've got our switch. So a light switch is simply basically an S with a line through it. It's a money symbol, and that's going to be a switch. And then if you have a light with a dimmer on it, that's going to be a switch with a D. This D is basically interchangeable with whatever it is. So D is for dimmer, T is for timer. There's a couple of other things you can add in there. 3 for a three-way switch. So if you have a light that you can turn off in multiple places, that's a three-way switch. So that's going to be this for timer. So this is a dimmer switch. Timer switch. You won't have a timer switch in a kitchen very often. Where you do see them is in bathrooms and laundry rooms when you have a fan, so that you can have it on a timed switch. Here in three ways is three-way. So that's going to be off and on in two locations. The three-way essentially means that you have 3 points. So you have your first switch goes to your light, then to your second switch. So those are going to be your basic ones for now. If I think of anything as we go through this, we will update this list, but we'll go ahead and scoot this over for now, and we'll focus on our drawing. So now I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to go ahead and use blue again, just so it's really clear. And we're going to start with our electrical outlets and our switching. So in this case, we've got a GFI switch here. And we've got a switch here for the garbage disposal. So we're going to just do a little dashed line to the garbage disposal. And then we've got, we know for sure we have an outlet with the dishwasher because you have to have one with that. And we know we for sure have an outlet with our range and with our refrigerator. So those are kind of your basic quick, we know we have these. And then we also have an outlet right here. And we've got another outlet right here and right here. So I have a little bit fewer outlets than I would like in my kitchen. So when I get around to redoing my kitchen, I'm going to be adding a couple more. But this is kind of your basic outlet drawing. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just need to know roughly where those are located. So next we're going to go ahead and add in our lights, which I realized we did not add our symbols for. So I'm going to just squish this over here. So we have a couple of standard symbols we like to use. They're slightly varied in our actual CAD plans, but for the purpose of this, a recessed can is just going to be a circle. And then a circle with a plus in the middle is going to be a surface mount. And surface mounts are anything that is directly adhered to the ceiling and is not recessed at all or hanging down. So a pendant fixture or a chandelier are separate, and those look very similar, where they have the plus that goes all the way through. So that is a pendant or a chandelier. So those are your 3 basic lights. If you have something a little bit more unique, feel free to ask. In a kitchen space, these are going to be your standard sets. Bathrooms might be a little bit different, but we will go through those and touch base on all of those as needed. So back to our drawing. With our blue pen, I only have recessed lights in this kitchen. And I also, frankly, don't have enough, but that's okay. So we have the one that is actually right about here, right near my sink. Then I've got another one right here. And I've got another one right here. And that's all I have for this kitchen. And my light switches are located at an interesting location. I've got them right outside the kitchen, right here. And I actually have a 3 set of switches here. 2 of them go to separate pieces, but if you have a set of them, even if they're not all for the space that we're working in, it's good to note that they're in there. And then again, we just draw a dashed line and then connect all of the switches and lights that go together, so that we know that this switch turns on these 3 lights. This switch turns on our garbage disposal, and then this switch goes to the dining room, and this switch goes to the living room. That's all we need to know for the separate spaces. You can just make note of that, and then I'm going to scooch this up so you can kind of see. I just drew those in, just a little note that we are going to other spaces. So that is pretty much all we need for a kitchen outlet plan. If you had an additional surface mount in here, you could simply just draw that in. And then if that had its own switch, and we can say that it went to that second switch, you could easily just kind of go like that. It's really just basics here. We don't need to know exact locations just now. That'll come when we do our in-person meeting, when we are able to see you in person. This just gets us started on a good starting point. And that covers your electrical plan. I will go ahead and zoom out here as well, and then there will be again a photo at the end of the PDF when we get to that point. Thank you so much.